In section 1.4, we're going to be learning about the quadratic formula. But to start with a little bit of a review about what a quadratic equation is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and it's set equal to 0. So anytime that you have a quadratic set equal to 0, you are figuring out what x value is. So the x's that you want are plugged in there, and as long as this side equals 0, it matches the other side, which is also equal to 0, then you're good. So that's essentially what we're finding here. Sometimes the problems make it a little bit more challenging, and that's when we cannot factor it. So when you cannot factor it, you're going to have to use this quadratic formula. And so we're going to take the values for a, b, and c. So we've got a right here, b right here, and then c right here, and we turn it into the quadratic formula. So you're going to write x equals, it's always negative b, and then plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. I purposely keep the numbers that I'm inputting in parentheses. So it's negative, I put in parentheses b, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So the values a, b, and c go right into those spots, and we use parentheses to show that we're inputting them. I'm going to attach a video to memorize the quadratic formula. So let's start with question number 1. So we're going to start off with 6x squared plus 7x equals 3. Well, to start with, you have to make sure that it's in this form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we have to get it set equal to 0. So to start with, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I'm going to insert it right into that space right there. So we've got 6x squared plus 7x minus 3 equals 0. So in this problem, you have that a is 6, b is 7, and c is negative 3. And then we can just go straight to x equals. So you've got negative b. So we're going to input 7, negative 7. And then it's always plus or minus the square root of. We've got b squared. So you've got 7 squared. Essentially, I just like to put what b squared is. So instead of 7 squared, we're going to input 49. It's always a positive number. And then you've got minus 4 times a times c and then all divided by 2 times a. One of the most common mistakes that I've seen students make is right here. A lot of times if you have a b that's a negative number, we accidentally change this into negative 49 instead of positive 49. So if this was negative 7 squared, that would be positive 49, and same thing with positive 7 squared is also 49. Just make sure that when you square something, it's a positive number. So I like to just change it right away. From here, we're just going to use our calculator and reduce what we have. So we've got negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49. And then we've got negative 6 times 4 times a negative 3, which is going to be minus. So I'm going to bring down the minus sign. And then that's going to be negative 72. So I can go ahead and change that. Divided by 2 times 6. From here, you've got x equals, and again, we've got negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 plus 72 divided by 12, and the square root of 121 equals 11. So from here, we can go ahead and split up the x equals. So we've got x equals, that's going to be negative 7 plus 11 divided by 12. And then you've got x equals negative 7 minus 11 divided by 12. So you're actually going to have two separate answers. So the first one, we've got x equals negative 7 plus 11, that's 4 over 12, which reduces to 1 over 3. And with the other one, we've got x equals, that's going to be negative 18 over 12, which reduces to negative 3 over 2. So we've got two answers for this. Now this problem was really nice because we were able to square root 121 and actually get 11. The whole point of using quadratic formula is for when we cannot factor. So number 1 right here, we could factor the long way with your x's. So we've got two numbers that multiply 2. So remember, my friend is factor. So you've got x minus 9, x plus 9, x minus 2. Drives divide. Remember, we divide by the leading coefficient, which is 6. Red reduce, x plus 3 over 2, x minus 1 over 3. And then Mustangs move, 2x plus 3, 3x minus 1. But since it's set equal to 0, you're going to do what we did in the previous video. Separately set them equal to 0 and reverse your operations. And you end up getting the same answer. Now, we can use the quadratic formula instead, and we can also use the quadratic formula anytime that we cannot do the x's. When we can't do my friend drives red Mustangs, we have to do the quadratic formula. Let's go ahead and do number 2. We have x squared minus 4x minus 14 equals 0. It's already set equal to 0, so we could just go ahead and write down what a is, what b is, and then what c is. So we've got x equals, it's going to be negative b, and then plus or minus the square root of b squared. So in this case, I'm going to do negative 4 squared, which I know is positive 16. And then you've got minus 4 times a times c. Both divided by 2 times a, and a is 1. After that, we can go ahead and set up what x equals. So we've got double negative 4 turns into positive, and then we've got plus or minus the square root. And then you can go ahead and type in your calculator, 16 minus 4 parentheses 1, close parenthesis, open parenthesis, negative 14, and you should get positive 72, all divided by 2. From here, we can go ahead and split this up. So one of the things that we did learn about yesterday was the fact that I can split up 72 into the largest perfect square and another number. So if you look at our perfect square list, the largest perfect square that goes into 72 is 36, which is multiplied by 2. So what I suggest in your calculator doing is take 72, divide by 2, enter, divide by 3, enter, divide by 4, 4 is a perfect square, and see what number you can get. The square root of 36 equals 6. So essentially in our problem right here, we have x equals, that'll be 4 plus or minus 6 square root 2 divided by 2. And then to take it just one step further, 4 and 6 are both even numbers. So we can divide each of them by 2. So really our answer is x equals 2 plus or minus 3 square root 2 as our final answer. If you cannot get here and the furthest that you can get is right here, I am perfectly happy with that. If you can go further, I want you to go further. I will give you bonus points on your quiz to go to the very end. Number 3, let's do another problem with just the quadratic formula. So we've got x squared equals 4x minus 2. Now the first thing that you need to do is make sure that everything is on one side. So you're going to make sure that you move it so that x squared remains the positive number, right? You have to have a positive leading coefficient here. So what I'm going to do is subtract 4x from both sides. And I'm also going to add 2 to both sides. So we have x squared minus 4x plus 2 equals 0. Now from here, we can go ahead and label what a is, what b is, and then what c is. So you have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared. So once again, b squared is going to be 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times a times c. All divided by 2 times a. From here, you're just going to reduce just like we did earlier in the previous problems. Double negative turns positive. And then you've got plus or minus. In your calculator, type in 16 minus 4 times 2. And you get 8. So we've got the square root of 8 all divided by 2. Again, I'm good if you have this as your answer. From here, I am going to break apart. The largest perfect square that goes into 8 is the number 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. From here, we can go ahead and say that x is equal to, that'll be 4 plus or minus 2 root 2 divided by 2. Both the 4 and the 2 can both be reduced by the 2 in the denominator, so the true answer is x equals 2 plus or minus square root 2. And notice that I'm not putting this 2 underneath the radical. You cannot reduce a radical ever, ever, ever. The next one, number 4, is the last one that we'll go ahead and do. The last one for our notes in this section. So you've got 2x squared plus 9x plus 10 equals 0. This is one where if you were to do your x's, it'll work. All right, if you were to do your x's, it'll work. If you were to do the quadratic formula, that will also work. So we're going to start with the quadratic formula. So you've got negative b. In this case, b is 9. And you've got plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a. So let's go ahead and reduce things. So we've got x equals, that's negative 9 plus or minus the square root of 81 minus 4 times 2 times 10. That's the square root of 1. And then divided by 4. So this reduces, let's see, so we've got x equals negative 9 plus or minus 1 over 4. So really, x equals, it's going to be negative 9 plus 1 over 4. And then you've got x equals negative 9 minus 1 over 4. That will reduce to negative 5 over 2 because this is negative 10 over 4. And then this one gets me to negative 8 over 4, which reduces to negative 2. And those are our two answers. You would have gotten the exact same thing on the other side, having done my friend drives, divide, red, reduce, and then Mustang, move. If it's set equal to 0, you need to separately set your factors equal to 0. X plus 2 equals 0, so we get x equals negative 2. And we've got 2x plus 5 equals 0. Reverse the operations. X equals the same thing, negative 5 over 2. And that's it.